been a while since I did a gear-focused video on the channel, but I finally have something new that I'd like to talk about. As you know, we're partnered with AVerMedia, and we've been doing a lot with them over the last couple of years that we've been running GVG, but a lot of that has happened behind the scenes. But today, I have the opportunity to talk to you about some of the stuff I use to make the videos that you watch here on the channel, and I couldn't be more excited to have that opportunity to discuss this with you because I like to do more tech-focused videos, and this is a perfect way to kind of cross over the tech that we use and the games that we play. Of course, if you have been around since the beginning of the channel, you've probably heard me talk about the fact that capture card manufacturers have been kind of behind the curve on technology for the last few years, ever since the PS5 and the Series X dropped back in November of 2020. Here we are nearly at the third anniversary of these consoles, and we're getting closer to a place where we have the full feature set able to use and able to show you. Of course, what I mean by that is that AVerMedia recently provided me with this. This is the Live Gamer Ultra 2.1. And that 2.1 is pretty significant because this is the first ever capture card that supports HDMI 2.1 pass-through. And I'll explain what that means here in a minute, but to give you an understanding of just how different this is for my setup, obviously, if you follow me personally, you know that I've recently moved house, and I now have a dual recording setup. I have a separate room in which I play and record games. I no longer sit at my computer to do that. I have a second PC in what I'm calling my studio, even though it's not quite yet built out. And I have my editing rig right here where I'm recording this video for you now. So I brought this in from the other room so that I could show it to you. This is the whole thing, the whole capture card. This is again, the Live Gamer Ultra 2.1. You've got this kind of RGB LED strip on the front, and then you've just got your standard complement of ports. You've got an HDMI in, an HDMI out, and then some audio right here, as well as a single USB port. Because this is an external USB card, and it is the most capable capture card on the market today. It's kind of nuts that AVerMedia dropped this, and it's, actually has full HDMI 2.1 pass-through, which no other competing card on the market has currently, and it just hooks up via straight old USB and records at 4K 60 FPS. So this matches the capabilities of even the best competitive cards on the market today in terms of recording quality, and it also one-ups them in terms of what it can pass through to the display you're playing on. So I have this hooked up in the studio to a TV. It is a 65-inch LG OLED screen which supports the full complement of HDMI 2.1 features, that being variable refresh rate, which, if you're unaware, matches the refresh rate of the display to what the source console is putting out, resulting in the appearance of a much smoother gameplay experience. It's implemented in most PS5 games, especially first-party stuff, and if you're wondering just how good the quality on this is, you might actually already know. If you've watched my Spider-Man 2 review on the channel, you've actually seen the results of this card in action. All of our footage for Spider-Man 2 was recorded on this exact unit that I'm holding in my hand. So I captured my whole playthrough of Spider-Man 2, and I will post some footage of the review here in this video for you to check out, but regardless, needless to say, it is absolutely crisp, it is beautiful, and it can capture footage of matching quality to any card on the market out there today, and while providing you with the full complement of features that you get in other cards from other manufacturers and even AVerMedia's older cards. This is clearly the way of the future. It is the most capable card on the market today. I actually am using this now as my daily driver. I don't often make upgrades to my kit, but this handily outdoes every card that I have. In fact, one of my favorite things that I've discovered using this is that it works with HDMI CEC. And if you're unaware of what CEC is, it basically is how consoles can send commands to the TV, and the TV can send commands back to the console. So when you turn on your console, when your TV turns on, that's HDMI CEC. And even AVerMedia's existing crop of cards don't work very well with that. They'll only turn my TV on to input 1. The label will come out weird. It won't know what device is hooked up because the information's not getting passed all the way through back to the TV set. But with this new card, everything works. It works just as though the console is hooked up directly to my TV, inputs switch appropriately, everything works the way I intend it to. In fact, I don't usually unhook my console from this card. I've only unhooked it to show it to you here today. It hooks up to your PC with just a single USB cable right here. And it works on even low-end computers. You only need like a 7-year-old graphics card for this thing to work and record 4K footage for you to be able to put up on YouTube or stream or whatever you want. This works through OBS. I did not use AVerMedia's included software for this. I much prefer to use OBS. It's much more straightforward. The software from AVerMedia is fine. I think it's okay. There is a utility for this where you have to set resolutions. So you can set the pass-through resolution to 4K 120 or 4K 144 or 1080p 240 hertz. Lots of different options here. It also includes ultra-wide support. They're updating this all the time, but as of the publication of this, I've only worked with 4K 120 because that's the workflow for the videos we create here at GVG. I capture in 4K and we downscale as necessary to make a 1080p video or whatever it is, whatever the case, but this works on every console. You don't have to have an HDMI 2.1 capable console to use this card. This will work fine on the Nintendo Switch, even though that's only 1080p. It can still capture 1080p footage. It's not like you have to have, you know, a high-end console hooked up to this. This can still record your last gen stuff. It can record Xbox One, PlayStation 4, anything with HDMI will work on this, but it specifically supports all the new features that have come about in this current generation of consoles. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's nice to finally have a capture card that supports the current crop of technologies that are available. I'm still hoping that someday we get a card that is able to record 4K 120 hertz. Maybe that'll be coming in the future, but for now, at least we're uncompromised in our experience when we play the games we're recording. I no longer have to forego HDR in 4K. I no longer have to forego 120 FPS support in games that support it. I no longer have to forego variable refresh rate, which made my experience playing Spider-Man for review so much smoother than it would have been just a few months ago. So I'm truly grateful to AVerMedia for sending this card through. This is the new gold standard in video game capture tech, and it's not even super expensive. We actually have, as a partner of AVerMedia, a discount code available in the description if you'd like to purchase your own. These have been up for sale for a while now, but we've got one of the first discounts ever available on the card. Thanks again to AVerMedia for sending this over. This is the Live Gamer Ultra 2.1, the only capture card that fully supports the PS5 and Xbox Series X. If you're in the market for a capture card, this has changed everything for me. I'm no longer using the capture card that is internal to my PC because this is more convenient. I can use it in more places. It supports my consoles fully, and it's portable. I can take it with me on the go, which is a huge plus for this thing. I no longer have to lug an entire PC if I want to capture PlayStation 5 footage, because you can hook this up to a laptop. You can even hook it up directly to an iPad running iOS 17 and record footage onto the iPad, which is nuts. That is just a wild thing that you can do now. It feels like the entire landscape of video game capture is changing. We're finally getting support for current gen consoles, and who knows what will come in the future. Maybe we will get that HDMI 2.1 recording, but for now, this is the most full-featured card on the market at any price. It is just the best card money can buy at the moment. So if you're in the market, this is the one to get. Thanks again to AVerMedia for sending this over. Hit the link in the description if you're interested in learning more about or even purchasing the card. And if you have any questions for me, drop those in the comments. I'd love to talk tech. I don't get to do it nearly often enough on GVG, and I know this is a shorter video, but thank you so much for indulging me, and I will talk to you next time. Until then, bye everyone.